So dehydration is one of the major causes of a weakened digestive fire. So we simply don't have the ability to digest hard to digest foods, so we change and modify our diet. Soon we're eating, no fats, no fried foods, no wheat, no dairy. Maybe we have to become a vegetarian or even a vegan to actually feel good when we digest our food. And it's fantastic to be a vegetarian or a vegan, but for the right reasons. So you're not doing it because you can't digest other foods. We want to do it because it's a choice that you make to be healthy, not a choice that you make because you can't digest anything else. The second, probably most important reason for our digestive fire to become weak is thick bile. The bile becomes thick when the digestive system becomes boggy and sluggish. When we're under a lot of stress, the mucous membranes in our intestinal tract become irritated. They produce reactive mucus. The little villi in our intestinal tract become very sluggish and very, very boggy. And then the fats that we digest aren't able to be absorbed through those villi. And they get reabsorbed back to your liver, and they eventually make the liver congested. They make the bile thick. And when the bile becomes thick, it can't digest and break down those fats. And we're talking fat-soluble nutrition, so you feel good and it stabilizes your mood. We all know fish oils help your mood stay stable. So it's the good fats as well as the toxic fats, the fat-soluble chemicals, environmental pollutants, pesticides, heavy metals. These are the fats that are toxic that if we don't have good quality villi function, then they're going to be absorbed back to your liver, congest your liver, maybe store in your fat cells or your brain, but definitely over time congest the liver and thicken your bile. And the bile therefore can't break down those fats. And the acids coming out of your stomach aren't neutralized by adequate bile. And when that happens, you can get nauseous, bloating, gas, belching, fullness in your stomach. The food just sits there. Acid reflux, constipation, diarrhea, loose motion, mucus in your stools, a host of conditions that I talk about and write about in the article and list them in the article associated with this newsletter. But what happens is those acids, when they can't get neutralized by the bile from your gallbladder and your liver, they burn your intestinal wall. And the intestinal wall goes, you can't do this. And it sends a message to your stomach, turn down the fire. You can't be pouring those acids into my small intestine and burn my little villi. It's unacceptable behavior. So the stomach says, okay, I won't do it. And we turn down the dial of the furnace and we simply don't digest the foods as well as we could. And again, we start to slowly over the years modify our diet. We modify the diet with less fried foods. We don't eat as many fats. We eat more green vegetables. We don't eat the dairy. We stay off the wheat. And I think it's better for us to eat these better foods, but again, for the right reasons. Many of us don't feel satisfied unless we have a really rich carbohydrate, bready, heavy meal. When we turn your furnace back on, I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute, you will see that not only do you digest those foods well again, like you used to when you were young, but what's interesting is you begin to be satisfied with the vegetables and the green foods and the raw fruits. And you don't need to pig out on these supersized American-style portions. You feel satisfied with less. That's the magic, and that's one of the weight loss tips, is we don't have to digest such a large amount of food to get this huge, nourishing meal to absorb through our very heavy, congested villi so we feel satisfied. So how do we do that? One of the best bile thinning techniques is beets. Eating beets, you can grate the raw beet, add some lemon juice, a little bit of flaxseed oil, stir it up, make a salad, eat one beet a day for 2 to 3 months to thin your bile. It's a phenomenal technique. Herbs like turmeric, and we have a formula called liver repair, phenomenal herbs for thinning your bile as well. Associated with this article on my website at lifespa.com in the article section, there's a whole list of gallbladder thinning recipes that you can look at and begin to thin your bile. And so the bile can actually be thin enough so when we turn your digestive fire on, which is next, we don't burn the intestinal wall. So we have to make sure the bile is adequate. So when you start producing more acids and turn the furnace back on, we don't irritate the intestinal wall again. So first step, rehydrate your stomach and your body so we have good neutralization for the acids in the stomach. Thin your bile so it can flow really well, so we can neutralize the acids coming out of your stomach. Once that's all said and done, you should feel better. You should feel less nauseous, less bloating, less gas, less burping. And then we're ready to fire up that digestive fire and turn that furnace back on so we have that 18-year-old digestion once again. How do we do that? I have a protocol called the Trickatu protocol. Trickatu is an herb, it's an Ayurvedic herb that uses black pepper, ginger, and a long pepper that actually fires up your digestive system. And if you go to my website again, in the article associated with this video, there's a printable form where you can print out the protocol with all the details of how to do this resetting of your digestive furnace protocol. How you do it, very simply put, you take 1 Trickatu pill with breakfast, 2 Trickatu pills with lunch, 3 with supper, 4 with breakfast the next day, 5 with lunch the next day, 6 with supper, and continue increasing until you feel some digestive warmth. When you feel the warmth around your belly, during, before, or after the meal, you're increasing the hydrochloric acid in your stomach and you're feeling that digestive burn. It's a good thing. If you feel that, say at 5 Trickatu before the meal, then take 4 for the next meal and for the next meals after that until you feel the burn at 4 Trickatus before the meal. And then go to 3 Trickatu with each meal until you feel the burn around digestion, around the stomach, then go to 2 and then go to 1. And when you feel the digestive fire, the warmth with just 1 Trickatu, we've trained your stomach to now make the fire in a strong way with only just 1 Trickatu. And now you can take it away, you've reset your digestive fire, and now you're back in business. Digesting foods, hard to digest foods that we've dreamed about eating again without having to take digestive enzymes, be on a restrictive diet, eliminate foods, and we've fired up that digestive system. Along the way, I must say, if you have any difficulty as you start increasing the Trickatu, you get acid reflux or some burning in your stomach, or as you eliminate some burning or loose bowel movements. This is because we've started turning the digestive fire on before we fix the reason why the body turned it off. You got to remember, your body turned that digestive fire off for a reason. We got to fix that reason first. It's usually dehydration or thin bile. Please go to my website. Read more information about this. Tune in to me every 2 weeks. I do these videos so you can understand more about your digestive function and your optimal health. My name is Dr. John Douillard. Thanks for listening.